Hello, everybody. Thanks, Jonas, for joining us. My name's Damon Zwarich, as it popped up there. Oh, there I am. And I am one of the co-founders and CMO of Charlie 3 Oracles. I just want to thank the foundation for putting on this amazing event so far, and thank you all for being here to begin with. So let's get right into it. What is an Oracle, if you aren't knowing already? Make sure the clicker works. So our Oracle systems are able to provide data to smart contracts. So getting real-world application from, blockchain applications. So we want to be able to take data from the real world and put it on chain, and an Oracle is usually used for this. Main functions of the Oracle are mainly to provide data security and data verification for many other third-party platforms that need to use it, right? Security is the name of the game, especially when we're dealing with finances. So what's our vision? Especially for Oracles, we want to see a world with mass smart contract adoption, right? This is generally pushed through and with Oracle systems because we have to get that data from the real world. What is this data? It's usually, any kind of assets. You want pricing assets from stock prices or foreign exchange, weather, sporting results, election results, what have you, anything that can be monetized and put on there. Or, sorry, not monetized, but a numerical value. For us at Charlie 3, our 4 pillars of value when we're building our applications are education, innovation, transparency, and security. So it's really important to educate people on what an Oracle is and why is it beneficial. We're a B2B back-end software, right? Nobody's using our application. We're not an NFT. We're not an NFT minting platform. We're not a trading platform. We're not a game. So how can you see it working? How do you know its value, right? All of these platforms I just mentioned are using Oracle data, but you don't know, right? So it's important to know these things. The innovation is obviously just increasing security, which is another point on there, and making sure that our systems are up to date, as many people and many projects and you as the end user will be benefiting from this. As a company and as an innovator, transparency, we feel, is always very key. We've not seen this in other projects in the past as we were getting to this point. I'm not talking about Cardano, just in general, right? Transparency seems to be lacking in many areas, and it helps to have that to increase the education of the general public, which increases adoption for the future. So our development philosophies within Charlie 3 and for our Oracle systems are obviously to make sure the code and the tech is up to date and innovating as needed, which is, again, our CTO Jonas over there. That's his ball game. And marketing on my side is we really need to show that image and, again, that education to people. What is our brand? What does it stand for? What's the purpose? I mean, even just the simple factor of us having a approachable robot head logo brings people into this usually high-tech application that can be intimidating. Building up a great community, again, for this educational driver is a really big aspect of what we really want to develop. I mean, again, this development idea is usually just for tech. It's not for what are the other things we have to develop. So that's why we're presenting this. Because we're a B2B solution, and Oracles are that way, you have to make sure that those business relationships are really well done and that team is there. And in order to have that team there, last point, we need to make sure that we develop a very good working environment so we have good mental health practices as well as happy people. Without a great team, we have no product. Without a product, we have no business. Charlie 3 goes bye-bye. So what are the Cardano benefits to Oracles? Because Oracles exist on other platforms already. Everyone's aware of the big ones out there. But for Cardano, we have the EU TXO model, obviously, and that enables us as an Oracle. The multi-operational processing is a big one, which we'll get into with supposed to be reference inputs, not scripts, so that's my bad. And the arbitrary logic scripts. How these benefit us, we'll talk about now. So the infinitely consumable data sets is for the reference inputs. Typically, in the past, you would have regular UTXOs that have to be pushed on chain and then consumed, and this can increase congestion and costs and latency. But with reference inputs, singular input, no longer consumable, it's just read. So it can go out to many, many people very quickly, which increases adoption. and decreases that latency, and it's a lot easier for our processes to be there. It also increases security because there's less potential for risk in, say, a invalidated UTXO sitting there still that somebody could take and use the wrong value, or somebody change it as it goes on. And the logic scripts, arbitrary logic scripts, really just helps in that security of what our node operators actually aggregate off-chain, that only that set of data is being presented on-chain, right? Without that, if it could be altered or hacked in some other way, that could really mess up our customers' data sets, which then messes up what you guys are trading on. So when is Charlie 3 active? Last month. We were very excited to be probably the main DeFi platform to actually be able to launch, or DeFi project to be able to launch on Cardano mainnet last month on October 14th, and we announced it on the 15th at the Rare Bloom conference in Denver. Right now, it is an MVP launch, and you can see it on Cardano Blockchain Explorer, basically, that it has an update heartbeat of the ADA USD price every hour on the hour. And that is being done completely for free by us. As it says, free community price feeds. We are supplying these price feeds for the community, for anybody to use and build on, so you don't have to worry about that cost. This is a huge thing for us in an Oracle system, especially in an emerging DeFi ecosystem on Cardano, to make sure that people have access to this. As I mentioned, all the different types of platforms that can use oracles, we want to make sure that they are usable, and the cost can be a barrier. So us subsidizing this allows more and more innovators to continue building their projects at a lower cost, not worrying about that, and be able to get their project off the ground before we can worry about different things. Right now, the ADA USD price is the one that's running, and the next two we have coming up will be the Bitcoin ADA price and the Ethereum to ADA price feed, which will, again, also be subsidized for now. So our next product that we have coming, which we're very excited about, there's way more use case for this than the regular price feeds. I'm not aware of the other big oracles doing something like this, is the on-demand validation oracle that we have. We're dubbing it ODV, as highlighted up there. It's an extremely versatile and flexible platform. This is one of the things that will allow us to do a lot more real-fi applications. It's just what we're all excited about as far as Cardano goes. It's an independent verification and common sign-off by Charlie 3 nodes for a rapid validation event. So as listed below, things like user liquidations, which we would have someone like Meld using, but other banking applications are asking for this as well, real-world ones. Retails validating sales and product ownership, product sales, to make sure that nobody's being cheated that way. As soon as something's sold, it's updated. Trading prices in the moment. Tap tools talk to us about this, to have that request go through and you get it right away instead of having to wait for the next update. Also reduces cost in that moment and puts also the cost off of businesses generally onto the user as a signed transaction. Gaming, huge for player payouts. After anything that's done, a race or betting application, right, you have to know exactly what that price is in that moment and pay out that person. But the biggest one that we're really excited about is that first one up there, is with Atala Prism and many other projects involved with that, including the last member that was up here, Patrick from Endmaker, is being able to use this validation system for providing payouts to students, scholarships, depending on course completions. So these are our Cardano interested integrators so far. This is not a generally public list, but here we are. And we're excited to continually expand this. The first people that will be using our price feeds will be ADAO, Indigo, Summon, Endmaker, and an NFT project called the Clumsy Ghost. And the ODV will be Meld and Atala Prism. This is our roadmap, V2 Oracle services, website, on demand, and more developer tools. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate you being on this journey with us, and have a good summit. Thanks very much.